about how we would get you in?
I think we will have to raise the issue in the very first case, the question of the constitutional crisis that we're now facing in this case. That the public are being barred and therefore the courts are void. A court that is in private cannot be considered a court, and we cannot participate in such a hearing, I think. Because this is completely... we know the press is corrupt and has covered last week in the most corrupt way imaginable, twisting everything, ignoring the content of the case in order to create a shitstorm that would discredit myself and Gemma. So we have to nail that once and for all. So I don't think there will be any other content in the case today other than this constitutional crisis that under an illegal directive of the Chief Justice, people are being barred from a court, and this is absolutely unconstitutional and unlawful, and justice cannot proceed in these conditions.
No.
Absolutely.
And it is Article 34, isn't
34,
it?
yes.
That you need to quote to them,
Yeah.
which is so clear that justice must be seen, and they know that themselves. It's blatantly clear that the public must be allowed. It's the first in relation to the section on the courts. Justice shall be administered in courts established by law by judges appointed in the manner provided by this Constitution, and save in such special and limited cases as may be prescribed by law, shall be administered in public.
Yes.
So if they want to change that, they can only do so by introducing a new law up there in the Dáil, which they haven't done. They haven't done that. So this nonsense about the COVID regulations, there is an exception, there's many exceptions, and one of them is that if you're part of a legal action challenging the state in relation to this very legislation, that is an exception. All of you are involved in this action with us, and we cannot proceed if you're being kept out.
There is nothing in the COVID legislations, corrupt and all of those laws are, and that's why we're here, but there is nothing even in those to say that there is a prohibition on people entering the courtroom. It's completely bogus, and they know it's bogus. People can be allowed into the courtroom on a social distancing basis at the very least. A total number of people. They're refusing to do that. Therefore, their courts are not courts. They are illegal courts. They're unconstitutional. The court is in fact unconstitutional, and we will point that out very first, at the beginning of the hearing. If there's any more in the beginning, I don't know.
Did many of you have trouble when you were? Were you stopped at checkpoints?
Everybody is getting stopped from both sides of the border. They're not letting a lot of people from Euston Station down.
So, but were you all stopped on the way here in your
Yes.
cars?
Yes.
Yeah, because we were nearly not allowed in.
Yes, everybody was stopped down there, Like them along, crossing those walking up, and the rest was following. Yeah. But they are stopping them getting from Euston Station by car, and they're stopping them from getting from the Johns Road, and they're stopping them from getting from the CCJ. There's a CCJ
See,
on
they're
both
not.
sides.
I'm going to say something to you now, right?
Sorry, there's a-
And they're capable of anything, but they won't arrest all of you. Okay?
Because they know.
If you stay together in this strong group, they will not. The optics would be too awful. They'd have to report it tonight on the news, and then the sheeple would be like, wow, that's a lot of people they're arresting, and they look like me, they look like ordinary Irish people. So you must stick together in this group, and we're going to get you in somehow. What you've already done by walking past them is probably up there with,
Yeah, it's
that
fantastic.
was a phenomenal act of defiance.
Yes.
Brilliant. They would love to keep this nice and quiet, John and Gemma going in and doing our bit, and it's just not going to work that way. We've got to do it as a whole group.
This is from the passport, you've all seen that.
Yes, yeah. So these are the first 2 pages of the passport, is it? That the Minister for Foreign Affairs of Ireland requests all whom it may concern to allow the bearer, a citizen of Ireland, to pass freely and without hindrance, and to afford the bearer all necessary assistance and protection, which you're clearly not getting. And look, if we want to go along with the hope, the figures are such that they've gone through the floor now. They can't keep it up anymore. They're all these doctors that are coming out now to say it's no more serious than an annual flu. They're all being removed from YouTube. Yeah. The Californian doctors who called it a hoax, effectively, they've been taken off.
And in Ireland, the body within the HSE, NEFIT, which is driving all of this, has now emerged, has not published any minutes since the 10th of March. So all of the meetings have been clandestine, they have been in secret, and they're claiming it's because they have administrative problems that they're not able to write up the minutes. The 10th of March was the day the first death allegedly occurred in relation to COVID-19. In all of the history of this condition, in all the history of this, in all of the last, 7 weeks, they have not published a single line of accountable information to the public, whom they claim to represent.
A lot of that
These are criminals.
Oh
Yes,
yes,
it is.
It is.
I went
He
to
is.
James Street Hospital yesterday, and I went to ask to get my treatment, and a lady that lives beside me that has 3 joints that has to be injected by steroids. We are not viable. We are not making money for them by dying of the COVID-19. We don't have the COVID-19, so we don't matter. We're not even a statistic anymore on the books for getting their treatments. We are nowhere near to getting their treatment. We have to be taking the tablets. If you'd have seen the bag of them, instead of my injection, nothing but pharmaceutical tablets that has me zonked out for the whole week. And we were refused steroid injections yesterday because we're not worthy of the health treatment in Ireland because we don't have COVID-19. Healthy people that have other ailments are not worthy of any treatment. So that's how much you're valued by Leo and Carl and Mr. Houlihan in this country.
Yeah, you see, this plan here now is to.
Arrest anybody that doesn't
No,
go
that's just to frighten you.
Yeah.
You know, they're definitely not going to put you in that. So we have about how many here?
Oh, there's a lot that have been stopped up on the roads. A lot.
Has there?
Yes. I've got nothing but calls since this morning. They're not letting
Well,
us
tell
through.
them
They're
to
not letting
walk
us
Did you
through.
read the World Economic Forum? Where 300 of the richest and most powerful men in the world get together, and they said they can use COVID, to change, to close off all the constitutional rights of all the countries, so they can get together using this pandemic
But
as
they're
a
not
reason.
elected body.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think we should motor on.
Okay, thank you all so much.
Right, let's all walk in.
Thank you.
Are we right? Everybody walk in and remember, just keep quiet. Let's see what happens.